Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Pike County Schools Excellence in Education podcast. You've been following these podcasts recently, we've had a lot of good people on here talking about what's happening at the Pike County school system. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Thomas Pinion. He's going to introduce himself, talk about some things. I've never met Thomas before, so this could be good. He's a person that's been in Pike County for a very long time. Talking to a Yankee, I don't know how it's going to go, but I have a good feeling we'll do good. So, Thomas, welcome. Tell us who you are, what you do.
My name is Thomas Pinion. I'm the principal at Dorton Elementary School. I've been there. This is my 9th year as principal. Prior to that, I was at Jenkins Independent. I did a little of everything there for the 2 years I was there. Taught classes while being an administrator, drove a bus full-time, athletic director, all while also taking the role as assistant principal and interim principal for a year.
This is at Dorton.
This was at Jenkins.
At Jenkins?
Yeah, it was at Jenkins. And actually, Mr. Bolin was over there. It was before he came to Pike County.
Yes, the superintendent,
yes,
sure.
Yes. Gave me an opportunity. Learned a lot, though, getting to do all those different roles about what's expected of.
While you were at Jenkins.
You just have different job titles of various people within the school system. And prior to that, I taught at Shelby Valley and helped coach football over there. And I was at East Ridge for 2.5 years to start off my career.
Fantastic. So you went from Jenkins which is Letcher County, to Pike County. I mean, what's the difference in the two districts?
Well, obviously just the size of the district. I had supported both. Obviously, Mr. Bolin was at both while I was there. Loved my time at Jenkins, but gotta say it feels good to be home. I'm from Pike County, so born and raised, and obviously being in a school system that I'm familiar with was a dream come true. Being in the community that I live in now, being able to work there, and being able to serve my community in our school. It's a special feeling.
Sure. So, you're a teacher and now you're in administration. So, and then you do elementary schools. So talk to me a little bit about that. How crazy is your day? What's the difference between being a teacher who teaches one class of students or math, or what did you teach, by the way?
I actually taught math mostly. Also taught science at the high school level, and at Jenkins for a brief period, I did teach middle school and high school for just a little bit.
So what's the difference between being a teacher, going into administration, to being a principal?
I think I was talking to somebody the other day. We were in part of a training that talked about the principal is in charge of the entire school, but you're really you're responsible for the entire school, but you're in charge of very little. You know what I mean? Like wait a
minute. You're responsible for a lot, but in charge of a little. Tell me why. Explain that a little further. That's intriguing.
Well, what it is everything's going to have your name listed with it.
Sure.
Whether you were directly involved in that classroom when something may or may not have happened on the practice field, or the on the court when a game happened,
sure,
or what have you. I may have not been directly responsible, but indirectly, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's going to come down to me regardless, and I'm always, I'm going to be there in support of my people. They work really hard. We have a small school, but a lot of positive things happening at our school.
Yeah, we're going to get into that here in a minute. So do you like being an administrator versus a teacher? Or, what do you see the difference? There's a big difference between teaching a bunch of kids versus leading a bunch of teachers who are teaching the kids. Tell me how you transitioned.
I miss the classroom some, don't get me wrong, but there's more of an impact. I get to touch multiple classrooms by being in charge of the school, leading the school. We have a vision that's set, and we try to make sure that it goes out to where all kids are getting prepared for what is next. I did enjoy teaching. I think that teaching is really big about building relationships, and I I must say Dorton is a place that's unlike any other. I think that we do a tremendous job building relationships with our kids. Having a small population makes it real easy to know everybody. You know, a lot of people that have been there a while, they've taught mothers and fathers, they know aunts, uncles, sometimes even grandparents,
Sure.
and stuff. So, it's a magical place. It really is.
So let's talk about your faculty. So your faculty, is interesting, and I'm going to hit on another part later on. Let's talk about your faculty. Tell me about some of the teachers that you got there, some of your assistants, and so on. How do you feel about them? I mean, what kind of training do you do? What kind of camaraderie do you have? You said you're a kind of a family because you're small. How did the students react to that?
It is a family atmosphere. You know, everybody knows everyone. We do a lot of culture building things. We really try to promote our kids and any chance that we get. We were a blue elementary school last year and a green middle school. You know, though we would like to be blue in both, and we're working towards getting back to there. Excuse me. Our teachers are working really hard. Our kids put in a tremendous amount of effort just to get prepared for what they need to know in order to be able to do well, not only on the test, but, in their future endeavors, whether it be, obviously going to high school or transitioning from that elementary, that 5th grade to 6th grade and so on.
Sure.
So on.
What do you see in the kids now versus years ago? Like what kind of you talked about the culture. Talk to me about the culture of what you're seeing. How are these kids being raised? What are do they have better ambitions? What do you see in the change in them?
There's a lot of differences from when I first started teaching even to now. And I know that, this is only really year 16 for me. But I mean, man, it goes by quick. It really does. Obviously they're coming to us a little more prepared, when it comes to the, using technology aspect as they should be, I suppose. The biggest difference is, you do have a lot of kids coming to us now that are being raised by grandparents, or in various situations. Society is changed an awful lot throughout the years, but we just got to be adaptable. And I talked about relationship building. That's the most important piece to the puzzle, I feel. You got to build relationship with kids. Kids don't know, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. And
wow, that's a great line.
Great line. Then second to that is we do set high expectations for our kids at Dorton. We want them to be comparable to any student at any other school system. We want to give them those opportunities, and by knowing them, being more on a name basis, it not being just a student being just a number, we are able to try to find the different supports that they need, try to be real intentional with that, so we can give them what they need.
How do you find the type of support that you need without being too intrusive? I mean, I know that, it's got to be a hard situation to see, that we've got issues. You said kids are being raised by grandparents. I mean, how do you find that without getting too personal or breaking any rules or regulations?
Well, we're real big on confidentiality. And the district even has a group or a program, Grandparents as Parents, and our family resource director, she's phenomenal. Miss Hurley, she does a lot of work behind the scenes of knowing maybe what kids need, maybe a little more support, whether it be from the Children Incorporated aspect, to helping them out during Christmas, sending home food boxes. Our school will do a food box drive. Every one of the grades, they'll have a particular item to bring in for food boxes around Thanksgiving, and that's just one of the many things that she does. She wears a lot of hats, and without her support, it'd be hard to meet some of those needs that our kids have.
Sure. During COVID, we had a lot of, schools were shut down.
Yes.
Technology was there, and I know that Eastern Kentucky has struggles with financial needs that are being met. How did COVID affect the teaching or the educational opportunities at your particular school?
It affected it, quite a bit because obviously not having that one-on-one, or just face-to-face contact with kids. Being in the
part of that relationship.
It is. It's hard to build that, we had one teacher in particular. She's retired now, Miss Mullins. She actually had a live session every day, and I actually would go on occasionally on different lives that they were having, and just kind of see what's going on, see how many kids are showing up on there and participating and such. And she had them every day, and the kids got on there, and those kids, to be honest with you, um, last year on the KSA scores, they got first in the county in both math and science. The year prior, as third graders, that group got first in the county in reading and math, which were the only two tests that were given in third grade. So, I mean, they didn't lack for nothing after that. But we've had some groups too that you can see that COVID, it did make an impact. It really did. But we had various staff members that would get on the bus delivering meals, delivering Chromebooks. I even rode sometimes when we were short on people, and just seeing our community come together to meet the needs of our kids, throughout the entire community. I mean, it was something to see. It really was. When I think about it, it's crazy that we lived through that, but we did a tremendous job. I still think getting our kids what they needed.
Yeah, and there's no handbook that says, okay, we're going through a pandemic. This is how you need to educate. So it was every day was a new challenge for you.
Learn on the fly.
But I think right. as you did that, you mentioned Chromebooks. So tell me about technology. How has technology impacted the way you teach now, or way that you're instructing your teachers to educate versus when you came in 16 years ago?
Okay. So I love technology, and we didn't have the level of technology, obviously, that we have right now. I mean, I would have liked to have had that then, but at the same time, there's a need for pencil and paper too. Kids need to be able to work problems out, or to be able to do something without searching the answers, maybe on Google or some other things. But our teachers, they know our KSA. That's a Kentucky Summative Assessment, big test at the end of the year. It's on the Chromebooks that these kids take that. And so what they do is, within their daily instruction, they're using technology in order to give them exposure to certain types of materials that are going to be KSA-like, or if they're using a calculator, they're using the online calculator that they would use on the test. Sure. To better prepare them. It's like a basketball team. If you come in, you practice hard, you give 110% effort. When you come into a game, practices are harder than games. You should, play pretty good in the game. So we're going to practice how we feel we're going to play. So whenever we're getting ready for the end of the year testing and stuff, we're doing things, I mean, constantly. Even right now, where we are small, we build those relationships. We know our kids. We make projections throughout the year at various times, and we can make some predictions on how we feel that our school, how we're going to score if given the KSA at a given time. And then based on that, we look at what kids that, we might possibly be able to move. And, that's when we talk about really giving those intentional supports to try to help them reach the level that we feel that they are capable of reaching.
Yeah, I just made a note that says, how do you address kids lacking behind? So it looks like you have a pretty good program within the organization that says this child is slacking for whatever reason, so we have to give special attention to that particular child to bring that person up.
We're required, and we did it before. It used to be called RTI, Response to Intervention. Now it's MTSS. It's a multi-tiered support system, and that deals with three facets. It's you're looking at behavior, you're looking at academics, but you're also looking at the social emotional learning of the student or the child. And we've implemented some things. The district's been very supportive with some Kagan structures. It's some training that they've done with us. Our teachers are doing it, or all the administrators throughout the district have done it, and it really brings in various things to try to get the kids working together as teams. Sometimes they're working in pairs, but they're doing a lot of cooperative learning. That's what it's all
sure,
about,
right?
And I mean, most jobs in this world, you're going to have to learn to work with people. So, as a part of that, not only are they learning content, but they're also learning those social skills, or those soft skills that they're going to need whenever they go out in the real world.
Sure.
Something that was real big that we did as a district this past year is we worked on a portrait of a learner.
Okay.
And it deals with 4 aspects. We brought in community stakeholders, teachers, principals. We had district office members in there, and we came up with 4 areas for our portrait of a learner, which is effective communicator, a resilient learner, a critical thinker, and a responsible citizen. And that's something that
How was that? That's fantastic. How was that received by the students?
well, that's something that we, they have actually been going out and talking to all the teachers about it, and sharing that portrait of a learner to all teachers, just not the teachers that were on the committee that helped to create this portrait of a learner. But it's going well. We've already shared out 2 of them to our school, and talking about a lot of vibrant learning is
Sure.
what it's called, in order to showcase the things that we're doing with our kids to get them prepared for those things. Because the end result is we want these kids graduating prepared to be a contributing member of society. Hopefully in our area.
That's a great point. I'm going to hit on that here in a second, but I have another question for you. Are kids encouraged, or do you find that the students are going home, these ones that are being raised by their grandparents, are they going home and kind of working with their grandparents and basically educating their grandparents on the stuff that they're doing, the technology that they're learning, so they're teaching their grandparents things?
I would think so to a point, but also with the grandparents' parents group that we had, the grandparents that come out to that, not only are we giving away like different items that might be useful for them as door prizes or things of that nature, even like laundry baskets
Sure.
full of items, but they've also had people come in and do trainings with those grandparents about various things we do. I know they brought in technology, people who work in
Sure.
technology at the board to go over maybe how Infinite Campus works, how they can check the
Sure.
students' grades and stuff, or how to access various platforms that we use.
Um, you talked about, keeping kids around here. So how many kids do you think, or are you talking kids about job readiness and job availability and things that are available here? 25 years ago when I came here, is I have a cold, drive a truck, or go into the military,
Yeah.
or collect disability. So that has expanded exponentially. How is that filled into your curriculum?
Well, when I worked at Chow Valley a lot, they was called college and career readiness at that point. Now they call it post-secondary readiness, and it does deal with kids that are college ready and, obviously are in the workforce, what have you. And, teachers are talking to them all the time about the various things that are offered here in our area, and stuff, and talking about, the different pathways that they might be able to go into. We touch on it a little bit in the middle school level, but it really hammers home, I know, in the high school.
So you're a perfect example. You're born here, raised here,
Mhm.
educated outside, came back, and now you're making fantastic things here. I love the Portrait of a Learner program. That's just a fabulous thing. Congratulations for you on that. And I hope that really takes up, because that sounds like it's a perfect opportunity for kids. And I think the biggest thing with kids, and I could be wrong because, my kids are all grown, but I think the biggest thing is, caring about the children,
Yes.
making that happen and making them, feel like they are a part of a society. And it sounds like you're doing that at your school. Um, so what's the most rewarding part about your job?
Just seeing students be successful, we have various groups, whether it's academics or even with sports. We had a young lady last school year, that she scored first in the state in middle school writing composition. That was a state champion on the state governor's cup. That was awesome to see that success. Both of our middle school and our elementary academic teams, they were runners up in the district. This year, our girls basketball team, the 6th graders were down at KBC. They got runners up in the state tournament. C team, Pike County champs. A and B team runner up. Our boys were in the Final Four. The 5th grade team at
It's amazing.
KBC. Our volleyball team has a new coach. We got some exciting things happening there. We started the softball program a couple years ago. They're being competitive. Cheerleaders are supportive. We just got a lot of really good things going on, and it's so incredible to see such a small school, such a small community, build some of the things that have been built, and I'm just glad to be a small part of it.
Sure, that's fantastic. So, are there ever days when Thomas Pinion gets out of bed and he's, bills are piling up, healthcare, kids are sick, you know, you everything's going the heck in a handbasket, and the last thing you want to do is go around kids, and the flu is going around, and the last thing you want to do is go around kids. How do you prepare yourself to be around all those kids with all those issues, with all the stuff going on every day, day in and day out? How do you, as a leader, how do you do that?
I wake up in the morning, put them pants on one pant leg at a time, and just get prepared because I know there's kids there that need me to be there. And I learn as much from the kids as they learn from me as their teachers.
Sure.
We have phenomenal staff. Had a lot of teacher turnover in the last so many years, just because it's gotten to the point
Sure.
they've got their years in to retire. And even though that's been sad, we've got some. Newer teachers in there that they may not be up to where they were, because obviously they're veteran teachers. They've been there a while. Like, so many of them were born and raised in Dorton. It's not as much now as there was, but they're putting in so much effort. They're working so hard. I'm just proud of my school.
Well, that brings me to the last thing. Finish the sentence for me. I, Thomas Pinion, as the principal of Dorton Elementary School, am most proud of what?
Most proud of, I guess, just my community, man. Like, just really, they have shown out in just so many ways in the 9 years I've been there that I'm just proud of them. You know what I mean? Just the growth that they've shown going through COVID, going through different levels of diversity and different athletic programs. And we still show up.
Sure.
No matter how small we get, no matter if we have a bad season here in a certain group or whatever, we come back to the table, we come up with a plan, and we try to combat it and come right back. And I'm telling you, we got some really good things going on at Dorton, and I'm excited about it.
Well, I tell you, sitting here, this is the first time I've ever met you, heard a lot about you. Randy, our sports guy, talks about you guys, and of course, Beth up front here talks about you too. I am proud of the fact that you're where you're at, and the fact that the excellence in education at the Pike County school system has people like you who really care about students, because that's really important. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a great guest today. It's a pleasure to meet you. I want more about this portrait of a learner. I want more about that. And if you have any students who write articles, you mentioned one student wrote articles, send those over to us. We'd love to publish them for you.
I have to. Sounds great.
So thank you for joining us,
Thank
Thomas
you, Brad.
Pinion. I really appreciate your time today. Look forward to more educational opportunities through the Pike County Schools Excellence Education Podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Thomas.